Did I do it? Oh, great. Now there's an echo. Maybe it's this one. And this one, no. Okay. Ugh. I can't. Oh my god. Wait. Wait. I can hear myself and okay. Okay, does that help? Oh my god, thank you. Oh. I think I got rid of the echo. So now the question is, can you still hear me and see me? So that is a good question because I had to close a couple of windows. So now the question is, can you hear me and see me? Oh crap, because now I don't have the link to the oh my god. This really, I tell you guys, this technology is just so not fun. So, great. I could figure this out. Oh God, thank you. Hi, you guys. So, if you're just joining me, this is Ebony Love, and I am testing new technology today. And even though I tested this twice this morning and it was fine and everything was working, I could not get it back working again. So I am trying desperately to figure out, number one, how to get the link to this new live cast so that I can get everybody going in here. And for a minute there, I had a very serious echo going and I couldn't, and it wasn't just an echo, it was like an echo. And then I also had like a 5-second delay. And so I was hearing things that I said 5 seconds ago. So that was so not fun. So thank you for bearing with me through the technology challenges. So now what I just need to do is pop over to Facebook and just share the new link with people. And I'm trying to figure out how to do that. And I am not in the right video. So, okay, wait, I have to go to live events. Okay. I normally do not like to sort of test this as I'm doing it. But YouTube actually made it, not YouTube, Google made a change just on the 12th and said, hey, you guys, we have decided to switch over to new technology. And so, figure it out. So I am now trying to figure it out. And so now what I'm trying to do is grab the link so that I can give people the link to, no, I don't want you to play. I want you to stop and give me the link. Okay, here we go. So I am popping this over. Okay, so, okay, let's, and my space bar does not work. So when I'm typing, let's try this link. So when I'm typing, I constantly have to sort of slam onto the space bar. And it's hard to type and talk at the same time. So let's see if we can get this going. So we've got a few people in here. Welcome to my little webinar here. And what I'm hoping to do is just get us going and talk to everybody and just try to make this a good experience, and hopefully I will get the hang of this. This is a new, hang on, up. There we go. Okay, so it's brand new technology. If I have sort of very little visibility, so it used to be that I could have the maybe if I kind of tile my windows here, but it used to be that I could kind of Google made it so easy. There was that me? I have no idea where my phone is. There I look blue. I'm wearing a lot of blue. So but it used to be that I could have the chat window open at the same time, and they had some very nice panels, and I do kind of look blue. Oh my goodness. So it used to be that I could, you could see me typing. Oh, that's funny. So sorry. It used to be that I could just, say I want to go live and hit a start button and it would just magically appear. But now with this new technology, I had to download an encoder. I had to configure the encoder. I had to configure my microphone. I have to start the stream in one spot and then start in a different place. And then, so I think what I'm going to do is, for the folks who, because obviously I have the classroom set up and wasn't able to get that link switched over, and we're kind of in a new we're in a new space and new technology, so I'm going to reschedule another webinar so that we all get a chance to connect. So hi everybody. I don't know who all is here. I see I think 4 people so far. I'm supposed to be able to get metrics too, but it's like I have things in 2 different windows, and it's very, very challenging to figure out exactly what's going on. So, there's 8 watching. Look, I even get statistics. So that's fantastic. So if you're new to, if you're new to my webinars, and if you're new to me, I'm Ebony Love Bug Studios, and I've been doing these quilt alongs for the past, what are we on, year 4 now, which is kind of cool. I've been doing this for 4 years, and our webinars have been kind of changing and growing over time. The quilt alongs have been changing and growing over time, and that's just been really exciting. So if you're here with me on YouTube in the live stream, please say hello. There's a little chat window and you can chat with me. If you have any specific questions that I can answer for you, then please let me know that. And also, I did want to have introduce you to Outlander, the new mystery quilt along. I said on Saturday that I was going to announce the name of the Outlander mystery quilt. So I definitely want to get that going and let you know what that name is, and tell you a little bit about the quilt. So like I said, if you have any questions, just post them into the chat window, and otherwise you can post them on Facebook. I also have Facebook open, and I'll pop in there periodically just to check the Facebook group. Our Facebook group is the Ebony Loves Designers and Makers Quilting Academy, and that is the link is facebook.com/groups/DAMQA. So you're welcome to join us in there, and we'll get your membership approved pretty quickly, and you can post questions in there as well. So feel free to join us in there, and we'll get going. So let's talk a little bit about Rooms of the Abbey. So this is our last week. We posted the backing instructions, and if you can see my studio, so I'm here in my studio, and it looks kind of like a tent city. If you can kind of see the fabric that is hanging up behind me, that is from Rooms in the Abbey. So I still have fabric that I pressed, and I didn't want the fabric to get wrinkled before I cut it, so I hung it up on the wall. I have shelves back there, wire shelves, so I have little clips clipping that fabric up there. So that has been that's been kind of interesting. So thanks for bearing with me during the transition here. So oh great, now I'm talking in slow motion. So, all right. So there's a couple of people who have not seen Outlander. So Outlander is not just a movie or a TV show. It's also a series of books. So I have actually not read the books yet. I think it's Diana Gabaldon or Gabaldon. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. I should probably look that up. But probably in a couple months I'll have all that figured out. But I haven't read the books either. But I saw the first season, and so I'm really excited about that. And the quilt that I've designed for you is really based on the first season's TV show. So if you've read the books, I haven't read them. So, so the stuff that I'm kind of introducing is really purely based on what I've seen of the television series. So, and we don't start until January. So there's a possibility that between now and January, I'll get a chance to read the books. But it's kind of like I got introduced to Outlander through the television series. So that's how I've been going. So I am going to just quickly here pull up a little picture to show you, because I would love to introduce the quilt by showing you the actual badge. So let's do that. I'm going to show you the badge. And are you ready for the big reveal? Whee! That's it. Road to Scotland is the name of the quilt. And so this is not any particular colorway in this badge. This is our generic badge for the quilt along. So you guys will get a copy, or you'll be able to pull that and you can use it for profile pictures and different things like that. There are 3 colorways and you will be invited to choose your clan. So so that's where we are. We're Scottish, kilts and flannel and plaids and all of that. So I've designed 3 different colorways, and the 3 colorways, there is Clan Mackenzie, there is Clan Fraser, and then there's a generic clan that I call Clan Highlander. So I actually went to a wiki and just looked up, because there's so many characters in there and it's kind of hard. Like when you're watching the show, you can kind of keep track just based on what people look like, but it's hard to remember everyone's names. So I actually went back to the I went to kind of the fan Wikipedia that's been set up for the I guess it's for the books, but it's for the TV series, I think. So there's all the characters with their pictures and all of that. And I was looking, trying to find another Scottish name of a major character that I could pull in for the 3rd colorway. And I couldn't do that. So that is, I'll be, Clan Highlander is kind of the generic one. So, and then for the backing, Andover did something really interesting with the fabric line, in that they introduced flannels. So the plaids that are in the fabric line are actually flannels, and so we're going to use that for the backing. So it should be pretty interesting. I haven't done a quilt with the flannel backing before, but the plaids are they're amazing. And I'm going to have sampling yardage coming this week and get started on the sample quilt, so that should be really fun. So hi Kim says the books are amazing. I read the first 4. They're a little slow to start, but dang, they are seriously awesome. So I'm just reading the comments for people who haven't been able to join us live, and thus they're not seeing the chat window. So I know those of you in the chat can can see, but those of us who are if you're not in the webinar live. Then you can't see the chat, so I have to read the questions off. So welcome, Kim. I should also give other people a shout out. Linda. Hi, Linda. No, Linda, you've been hanging tight with me for the past 40 minutes. So I think you were on for all of the 15 minutes that I was broadcasting with no sound. And, you know, that I might have to do like an outtake with that video, because it was basically me just kind of pantomiming my frustration for not being able to get the sound. So gosh, technology these days. Anyway, all right, so we're live. So thanks for hanging with us. And then I see T Quilts is here. Hello. Blue Sky Host and S Patton. Hello. And then Susan. Hi, Susan. This is so fun to see like people in here. So hopefully you guys are here. So Linda says Crafty Gemini uses YouTube for her live cams. You know, I do too. So I don't know why I can't get it to work. So and I think you know, I'll have to, she's busy. What is she doing? They're tilling the soil this weekend. So I'll have to give some get some information from her about how she's handling the hangouts, but we're probably using a different encoder. I also have the encoder that I'm using, and it's basically the software that's taking the input from my camera and from my microphone and pulling that all together and sending it to the live stream. And the encoder that I'm using, it also has the capability of taking my my HD video cameras that I use to do my other videos, and I'm able to kind of pass that through the video as well. So then I can, if I'm able to do that, then I can actually move our webinars to the video studio upstairs. Then we can be in a little bit nicer environment. But so hi, Mary. So Mary is Blue Sky Host. So, oh, hi, Mary. Mary and I were chatting earlier. I gave her a pretty good laugh about a little typo I had in our classroom. So Kristen, hi, Kristen, welcome. So Kristen's question is, when will registration open for the Outlander Mystery quilt? I can't wait. You know, I can't wait either. But I'm hoping to open the registration this week. I am wrapping up the fabric requirements, because what I want to do is actually get the registration posted and the kits for pre-order, because I really need to place that fabric order pretty soon. So I'm really trying to handle that this week. So so look for that on Wednesday or Thursday for that to get posted. So and the classroom will get set up. Obviously, you know, you won't be able to see any of the information there, but you can see the schedule and all that. So I'm just trying to get all of that set up in advance so that I can connect the registration, because I don't want to connect the registration and then you go to the classroom and there's nothing in there. So definitely hoping to get that done this week. But I'm really excited. You know, if you're in either Rooms of the Abbey or the British Invasion class, I put together a survey and I sort of asked people for feedback. We're on a new website, we're in a completely new classroom, and so I was asking people, you know, how can we improve, what things can we do to get better, and so I got a ton of feedback, so I shared some of that today. So there's definitely some things that are changing, you know, moving forward. I'm actually moving away from the pre-recorded video and moving back to the live series, which is you know, one of the reasons I chose this particular encoder or this particular software for my live streams, like I said, because I can actually hook up the cameras that are in my video studio, and that's just a much better, I mean, if you have seen the videos that I did for either Dear Laura or Rooms of the Abbey, I think that, you know, there's more room upstairs, particularly with the rulers. I can get overhead shots. So it's just a little bit better set up. So I'm excited about being able to do that in a live setting. So, all right. So Linda has a question. So Linda says, do you still do AccuQuilt? And so that's a good question. So I do. I think there's a little bit of a difference in terms of kind of what I use personally, what I sell, and, you know, then, you know, kind of how I interact. Obviously, my, the main machine that I use here in my studio is the quilt Studio. So that's my main die cutter. I teach die cutting classes, and so I'm using both quilt and Sizzix products just depending on what the class is. So for example, in Houston, I'm teaching a class on doll making and one on hexagons, and both of those are Sizzix classes because the doll die is a Sizzix die. So that's going to be with the Sizzix machines. And then the hexagon class, which actually have a stack of hexagons right here. This was going to be my little sewing project today. So these giant it's a hexagon with a 5-inch side. So these are just really massive. So so that is the class that I'm teaching in Houston, and the die, it's a with the 5-inch side, it's a pretty big die. So so we're using the Big Shot Pro in that classroom. But then I'm also teaching a Drunkard's Path class, and that Drunkard's Path class will be on the quilt Studio because that is you know, that's my favorite Drunkard's Path die. So that's the one that we're using for that class. So I continue to teach and advocate for you know, for all types of machines. But I think if you look at just from a representation standpoint, quilt just prefers that people be exclusive to them, and I can't be exclusive because I just love die cutting. So you know, so just in terms of, you know, will you see me you know, how I interact with them as a business is a different approach than how I interact with Sizzix, because Sizzix doesn't care that I advocate multiple machines. So hopefully that answers your question a little bit. It's not like whether I do, you know, I do or I don't. It's just, it depends on what's going on. So I bounce back and forth. It depends on what quilt I'm making, what die I can find for it, and you know, which machine is going to help me get that cut out the fastest. So that's how I work. Awesome. So all right, so Mary asked if the kits will be available only from me. So this is something that I've been, you know, kind of thinking about. And, you know, something happened last year that actually during Dear Laura that really made me question involving the shops. So certainly it wasn't, you know, I don't have a problem with all shops, but it made me sort of rethink what was going on. So one of the things that happened, and this was, you know, really kind of shocking, but there was a shop that was actually copying my patterns. So instead of, you know, directing their folks to come and sign up with me, they signed up and then they were photocopying the pattern and charging people a really, you know, if you think my class is expensive when I sell it to you, you should see what they were charging. But they weren't telling the students that there was additional support online, that there were videos and all of those different things. So it turned into kind of a big mess, and it made me really rethink how I approach the shops and how I work with them. So right now I don't see kits being available, you know, locally. But it could be something that, you know, I've had, you know, good luck with, you know, with several shops. Like Fat Quarter Shop is a shop that, you know, I've worked with, and, you know, and they're great. They're another online shop, but they don't, because they don't have another physical location, you know, all they want to do is carry kits, which is fantastic. So that might be something that, you know, I'll make available through another shop. But you know, it's I don't know. It's a tough call. Like I said, I'm still thinking about it. Still thinking through that and how that would work. So we'll see how that goes. All right. So Linda had a question about, so Linda, hi Linda, fabric draping. If you're talking about the fabric that's here behind me, this is from Rooms of the Abbey. So I pressed my fabric, and this was from the Grantham kit, and we pressed all this yardage, and I didn't want it to get wrinkled, and there's no more flat surfaces in here, so I just started hanging on the wall. So it looks like a tent city in here. I swear, like every surface is covered with quilts and quilt pieces and fabric. So it actually looks kind of hilarious in here. So I usually don't like recording in here where you can see kind of my entire mess, but it's just kind of hilarious. So Mary says, like, wow, that could be a nasty legal situation. I've often ordered from Fat Quarter Shop Good Folks. So yeah, it was, it got pretty ugly there for a little bit. We ended up, settling it without having to go to court. But it really soured me, I have to say. And I'm trying to get over that and, not punish you guys for, having to, to go after, copyright infringement. And, there's just in the quilt world in general, there's been kind of this huge hubbub about copyright. Modern Quilt Guild did this big thing on derivatives that, had a lot of incorrect information that they had to kind of pull back and redo. And so there's, kind of a lot of, information and misinformation going around about copyright. And the case that I had was just very basic right to copy, which is if you have something that you've either gotten electronically or physically, you cannot take that to a copy machine and copy it. You cannot email it to other people because that's creating additional copies, so it's just kind of very basic. And that is really, that's the biggest thing about copyright. I don't go after people for making quilts. I don't go after people for making multiple quilts for my patterns. I always give permission for exhibits that I even have a blanket copyright statement on my website that says, if you're taking this pattern or you send a file to a copy shop and you want them to, print your pattern, or you want them to make a copy, I have a copyright statement that's like, dear Kinko's, let this person, print, use your service to print this. So I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to just, it's just respect the copyright, which is the right to copy. And I don't mind people remixing my patterns and, making whatever they want and reducing them and enlarging them and, adding blocks. I love that stuff. And I love it, especially when you guys share pictures. But I cannot stand the, kind of blatant disregard for what copyright is there to protect. So anyway, moving along. So Janet, hi Janet. I think Janet, we didn't say hello to you before, but it's great to have you in here. So Janet says, have you ever considered getting a large pressing machine for pressing large amounts of fabric? I'm looking at different machines. So I haven't, and it's primarily because I'm just out of space in here. There's, I really would need to move to a different, either a different house or actually get a studio in a building. We are literally just, we've taken over the entire basement. When I bought this house, it has 4 levels. And initially I said, the studio is going to occupy the lower 2 levels, and then the living space will be upper 2 levels. There is now quilting stuff on every single floor of this house. The basement has bolts of fabric and dyes, and that's where we do the warehouse packing and shipping. This level that I'm on now is the main studio. It's got all of my dyes, my cutting table. It's got more fabric. Also, the garage is on this level, and there's fabric in the garage. There's, if you go up 1 level, the long arm is there. And then on the upper level, there's bolts of fabric. There's my video studio. There's the photo studio. So there's stuff. I am bursting at the seams. I cannot have anything else in here. But the one thing that I did see that I absolutely want, and I have been trying to figure out how I squeeze this thing in, is there's a machine that cuts down bolts of fabric. And I saw it at Quilt Market last year, and I have to figure out how to get that machine, because I'm all about the kit making. And this machine, you stick you load a bolt of fabric into this machine, and you punch in the sizes that you want it to cut and say cut down the whole bolt, or cut 5 of these, and it just spins it off and cuts everything. And then it goes into this little chute at the bottom, which is just really fun. I'm like, the fabric's like sliding down. So that is just that is what I want. So I also saw a machine that a friend of mine got a laser cutter, so I was like, ooh, I should get a laser cutter. No, not getting a laser cutter. You have to hook up exhausts and compressors, and no, not getting a laser cutter. But it's a fascinating idea, but I think I need to be in a different space than where I'm at now. I'm bursting in here. But what I will say, Janet, is that when you decide on the pressing station that you get, let me know what it is, because, you know, who knows? I've got an extra bedroom. I might just take the bed out. We'll stick it up there. All right. So Mary says, the only reason I could justify copy is that the pattern is out of print and no longer available. Even then it's questionable. Yeah, and that's so true, because, you know, with the idea with the patterns being out of print is that the copyright owner really has the the say-so of whether they want to print more. And so the best thing to do when you see a copy that's out of print is to contact the copyright owner. So either the magazine, that published it, or the designer whose name is on it. We get into these sticky situations, right? Where, like, what if it's a magazine and the magazine went bankrupt and there's nobody around and there's nobody to ask, so it's just, that's a really sticky situation. So, but to your point, it's like, if you really can't get it, what do you do? And I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, I know that it happens. I just say, at a minimum, don't put it up on Etsy and start selling copies of out of print patterns, because that, that would be really bad. So anyway, oh, you know what I need to check? I need to pop over to Facebook and just check our Academy, because I wanted to see if anyone had posted any questions over there, and I just want to make sure that I check that and don't see. Let's see. I just want to check to see. Okay, so I don't see anything new in here. There was, back to Rooms of the Abbey, I did want to mention, if you were doing the Marigold Quilt Kit, there's an error in the final drawing. So there's just, I have copy and paste issues when it comes to text, but our illustrator also does copy and paste. So there are a couple of fabrics that didn't get switched out in the final drawing. So, so we'll have that corrected and we'll repost, that pattern. So we are coming right up against 3 o'clock. So I know that there's a little bit of a streaming delay here. So I'll say we have about a minute to go. So, so if you guys have any additional questions, make sure you get those posted into the comments, and so I can see those and answer those. But this has been really fun. So I'm excited for Road to Scotland. I can't wait for you guys to see that. Like I said, I'll get the registration posted later this week, and so we can get that going. It starts on January 18th, so that's another switch that we made, which is instead of posting the blocks on Sundays, the blocks are going to get posted on Wednesdays. So what that does for us is it means that everybody around the world will get the whole weekend to work on the block, because even if you're in Australia, I think our Wednesday morning, I think, is their Thursday night. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's that far ahead, plus it's winter down there when it's our summer. So even the seasons are kind of, opposite, but just doing that, moving that midweek, means that everybody gets the entire weekend to work on the block. You get to see it a little bit early. And then also what we can do is that if you have been able to see the block in advance, then by the time we get to the webinar, hopefully you've at least looked at it, and you can, if you have questions, we can talk about it in the webinar. In the webinar, speaking of the webinars, those are moving, instead of Sunday afternoons, they're moving to Saturday morning. And what's nice about that, and yes, it's, there is a selfish reason for doing that. But a part of it is that the way that things are now, basically my entire weekend is quilt-along stuff, and especially on Sundays. So with the webinars on Sunday afternoon, it means I can't do anything in the morning. because I've got to get ready for the webinar and make sure that I'm close to home. So if anything, you know, I might be able to run to the grocery store, but I have to come back and make sure everything gets set up for the webinar. And then, you know, after that, then I can't really do much else because it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So, so that is, you know, one reason for moving it to Saturday mornings. But what's nice about that is if we do it on Saturday morning, then you've also been able to see the instruction for how to make the block, or, you know, whatever lesson it is that I'm trying to teach that day. Those don't start until January. So there's plenty of time between now and mid-January for me to learn how to use this software and make sure everything goes off without a hitch. So I see there's a couple more questions here in the group. So Mary actually said they're 18 hours ahead of us. I need to like get a watch or something, or just have like dual time zone clocks where I can see the time here and the time in Australia, because I've got a lot of friends in Australia, and I'm always, you know, I'll send them a message and it'll be, you know, like afternoon here and it's the middle of the night over there. So awesome. So then T Quilt says, is there another Facebook page other than DCSMLA? Yes there is. So the DCSMLA, that was the God, what was that? It was the die cut now, sew me later along, I think is what that was. And then we were doing Thousands of Pyramids. So that was a very early incarnation. So if you search for Ebony Loves Designers and Makers Quilting Academy, that is the new group. And the abbreviation is DAMQA. And you can get to it directly at facebook.com/groups/DC, not DC, I'm sorry, facebook.com/groups/DAMQA. Or DAMQA for short. But that is the Facebook group that we're in. So, you know, send us a little join link and we'll get you connected over there. So, and then Mary says, my brother lives there in Australia. I woke him up once when I called. Yeah, because it's just, you know, I know they're ahead of us, but I don't get the whole, and it's, you know, and it's weird when it's Sunday here, but it's Monday there, and that just confuses the heck out of me. So anyway, so we are at time. This has been super fun. Thank you for hanging in there with me as I work through the technology. The next time I do this, I'll try to make sure that it is a lot more smooth. And I swear, I tested it. I did this twice. And if you didn't, I think I told this story when you couldn't hear the audio. But what happened is I wasn't dressed. Like, I mean, I had clothing on, but, you know, I didn't have the hair done and the makeup done. So I was looking kind of crazy. And I accidentally hit the stream button. And so I actually went live this morning with about a 3 or 4 second live stream. and a few people were watching it. I think there were like 3 people watching it. So I did that. And then I had another one that I tested probably at like 12:30. And so I was like, okay, I know how to do this. This is working. I played it back. The sound was there. It was fantastic. So I was like, I can totally do this. And, you know, so I don't know what happened, but I will get it together. I will figure this out and it'll be nice and smooth. And I'm loving that I get this little title, and I've got a little my watermark logo up there in the corner. So I think this has the potential of being very cool. So thank you so much for joining me again. I'm Ebony Love of Lovebug Studios. You can find my Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/DAMQA, or on my website at lovebugstudios.com. So thanks for joining me, and we will catch up later. Bye, you guys. Bye, Shirley. Okay, so now I don't know how to turn it off. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Okay, I think I found it. Bye, you guys.